Okay, so we talk about how to track the performance. Now, if you want to go deeper, you have to optimize the inventory. And I'm going to go back to 11 principles I've been really targeting and making very obvious into my my supply chain journey. And I like to use this word principle. For example, there is a very famous book from Ray Dalio. He was the founder of one of the biggest investment fund on the planet. And he had this book, and he really tried to create principles for his life, for his investments, for his relationship, personal and professional. And I like also to simplify and give you these 11 strategies that you should apply. Some are very obvious, some are more complex, but the idea is really to give you the seed if you want to explore later. Okay, so this is a long video, but I just want to give you this is a lot of value that I want to share with you right now. The first one is very obvious. You cannot improve what you cannot measure, so you have to track service and inventory value and turnover. That's what we did just before. So make sure you do it with all your products. Then focus on A and B, okay? Again, I'm going to repeat this, but most of the companies, they don't focus on the most important and they get lost with email and blah, blah, blah. But at the end, focus on the top sellers and biggest inventory value. Okay, the most important is to focus to make sure you have the right availability on the top sellers, like this one. This one, it's okay. It's just a collection if you are not selling a lot, so not a big deal. Then you have to clean your slow what I was explaining before, slow and obsolete stocks, which is very important. And for that, you need to, like we did, identify your obsolete and your slow movers, cancel current orders if you have, return to suppliers, do promotions, donation, and if you have no options, destruction, or maybe recycling the product. But the thing is that you have to track and be proactive and don't wait the end of the fiscal year to do that. Very important. Then the fourth one is to accept stockouts on low volumes and non-profitable products, okay? I've been talking about this a lot, but this is so important that it's not possible to have 100% availability. You need infinite inventory, which is not possible. So at the end, you have to be okay by having a lower service for low volumes and especially non-profitable one, okay? And you need to really educate people in your company that it's okay to have 80% of service or 85, depends on your industry on that. Number 5, you should reduce the number of products if you want to optimize your inventory. Why Apple is so efficient is because they have few products. They have only few products with very small difference between the products. When Samsung, for example, they have so many products. And it's not only about inventory, but the way you're gonna, for example, for new launch, I can tell you that most of the company, they are not efficient when they launch new products, don't have the right inventory, don't have the right communication plan, the right marketing. It's very difficult to align the full big company at the same time. So my recommendation is to keep it simple. Do less, but better. Do less, but better. And like Apple, for example, they've been launching the iPhone every single year, almost the same day of the year, to keep it simple. All right? Consistent and simple like Apple. Number 6, reduce your minimum order quantities, what we call MOQ, and lot size as well. The example is like if you have 1 year forecast. For example, you're going to sell this shoes 1 year. One year forecast is 100 quantities. But your suppliers say, no, you need to order minimum 500 quantities, minimum order quantity. Then you have, if you want 100, but you're going to receive 500, you will have 5 years of inventory. 5 years. You don't want 5 years. So or you reduce the MOQ, or you negotiate with the supplier, or you change the supplier, or you change the product. But be very careful. It could be like the minimum of, because, you need to order 1 box, 1 pallet, 1 container. This is one of the most impactful things you have on your inventory, and many people forget about it. Number 7, reduce your lead time. The lower is your lead time, the lower will be your safety stock because you won't have a big uncertainty. If you deliver, you can have 2 hours lead time. you don't need to have a very complex forecast. You just reorder what you need. If you have 1 year forecast, 1 year lead time, sorry, you really need to plan in advance. And this is much, much, much more complex. So the goal is really to, if you can, like the longer is the lead time, the longer will be your inventory and your safety in your warehouse, in your factory, but also in your transport, in your boat. So you have to identify how to reduce and stabilize the lead time from the review period to the IT, to the production, the waiting part, the transport. I won't have time to go deeper with the lead time, but just you can pause this video and just think about it. First thing is to track the lead time, but try to reduce it as much as possible without increasing the cost too much. Number 8, centralize your inventory. Okay? It's much more complex to manage inventory with, I've been working with companies with 100, 200 warehouse. It's very, very complicated. Like you can have the smartest people on the planet and AI and blah, blah, blah. This is much more complex than you say, you know what, I'm going to have only one warehouse. Maybe the transport delivery will be a bit longer, but it will be much more efficient. And that's what Zara is doing, or Apple. Apple, they don't even have warehouse, but Zara, they have only few DCs on the planet. And yes, I was telling before, reduce the lead time, but not too much if you have to open so many warehouse. And at the end, the lead time is not only about the transport, it's also about the efficiency of your warehouse and make sure you have the product available. So if you have too much inventory, think about maybe you could centralize and have less point of storage. We are almost done. Now we're going into more advanced technique. Mitigate demand uncertainty. So you have products very stable, like the toilet paper if you're not in a pandemic. You have the French baguette. And you have the umbrella, which is very unstable based on the rain. Okay? So mitigate the demand uncertainty, you need to have different strategy of inventory management based on how you can predict the sales of your product. For example, this one is very stable and this one is very shaky. So I'm not going to give you all the methods now, it was just to open your mind, but you should have a very different safety stock based on this and also the profit of the product than versus this one, which is very uncertain but not profitable. Okay, so what we call, there is just to open a door, there is something called the AbcXYZ analysis. This is just an introduction, but it's not only about the volumes, but also classify your product based on your level of uncertainty. And I recommend to have this kind of strategy if you want to go deeper and have different inventory management strategies based on this kind of classification. So you need to mitigate the demand uncertainty. So you need to mitigate the demand uncertainty, but you also need to mitigate the lead time uncertainty from your supplier. Maybe your average lead time from China to US is 40 days, but this is just an average. And sometimes you have a shipment that will take 80, 100, maybe even 200 because there is no inventory available. And you have many reasons for that. But what is important at the end is you need to have a strategy to face this uncertainty between, for example, supplier China 1, 2, and 3 with like a weird order at one point. So this is just example at one point, like the demand uncertainty, you need to classify, you need to track, and that's what I'm going to teach you if you want to go deeper with me. And the last one is you have to make your inventory management 99% automatic. Okay, whatever you're using, Excel on an ERP, I made most of my profit in my project because it was very manual or it was very static with the same parameters in the system from having a smart inventory management model that will automatically do it like the calculation and the optimization. And you don't need to become an expert or a data scientist for that. Automation is very powerful and it's just impossible to calculate every single day 2,000 products. We don't have the time for that. We want to focus the 1% of the exception, or you do a very specific promotion which is not in the system. But the idea is really to automate everything, okay? As much as you can, like I'm always explaining, to move from wasting your time to focusing on analysis and decision making, okay? So that was my principles. That's the kind of principles I've been working and optimizing most of my career. I hope this is give you the appetite to go deeper on that. And if you want to go deeper with me, I'm going to teach you how to do it. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this video about inventory management. If you want to go deeper on this topic, we do have a new free masterclass where I'm going to share with you the best strategies, tools, and Excel file to improve your inventory management, talking about demand uncertainty, how to mitigate your suppliers' lead time and delay, what are the best strategies, how to automate everything, and the 13 parameters you should master for inventory management with real examples from Walmart, Zara, Tesla, Apple, and Amazon, and an Excel file you will be able to download. And I'm going to show you how I analyze and optimize my inventory in less than 5 minutes. So you have all the details below this video. And we also offer different free masterclass like the one about how to generate more accurate forecasts, very linked to inventory management. I do this one with the expert from Amazon in forecasting and machine learning. What are the best KPIs and dashboards in supply chain? How to automate your task on Excel with Power Query. It's super simple and efficient. How to implement a new like SNOP and collaborative process. And also what are the best strategies to become expert and leader. So check below this video. Let us know if you have any questions. Leave a comment, subscribe, and thank you for supporting us. I'm coming back very soon.